Once again, we just got some teasers for its March 27th update. We also got a brand new dev talk and a ton of new reworks, which includes some brand new tactical gear, some new Memetic specializations. We even got an overhaul to ammo and crafting. Both contamination and pollution zones also got their full reworks. There's a ton of early game, mid game, and even end game changes. I'll go over all those and break everything down to you. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back into the video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. First off, yes, we do have the new dev talk here. And this goes over a ton of new updates coming with March 27th. And there's overworks to literally every single system in the game. So first off here, we have some ammo and gear reworks that will entirely change the way you play. There is a new mechanic here called an anti-type bullet overhaul. So all weapons will lose their built-in anti-type effects, whereas now the damage modifiers will depend on ammo types. So essentially when you were crafting different types of ammo, whether it was AP ammo, etc., a lot of that had baseline types. So like gold would do blasting, which would help with unstable bomber. There was also ones for burning and frost effects. Those have now been removed and they will work across the board with all effect types now. So whether you're using shrapnel, frost vortex, any of that, that's all going to work coincide together. Not going to matter what you craft there, it will work with everything. So with that, of course, they have new AP ammo types. Suppression and penetration here, where suppression will deal increased damage to deviants, where penetration will be stronger against humanoid enemies like Rosetta and Bandit. I also assume that might pertain to PvP. The suppression AP will require Stardust ingots, and for humanoids, that will be the control unit. Now, they also do mention that additionally, non-elemental damage bonuses provided by Fur have been replaced with weapon damage bonus. So some massive changes with gear there as well. There's going to be some new tactical items. These are PvE exclusive though. You won't be able to use these in the PvP section of the game. But there is something here called a shield matrix. There's a deployable barrier that blocks incoming bullets while allowing outgoing fire. They do have examples for each of these, so we can check out the shield matrix. And they do say it's omnidirectional, so it will go in all directions. Pretty cool there. They of course do mention that this is to deal with the new hard difficulty, or the new nightmare difficulty. Next up, we have the Mr. Wishes rocket launcher, which fires a player-guided missile with high explosive damage. Meaning, yes, basically you'll take over the rocket and you can guide where it goes. Much like Unreal Tournament. I think that's super cool there. That's such a fun mechanic to play with. And you can see how that does launch here. Next up here, we have the Wildfire Flamethrower, which will have extended range and heat buildup, which is ideal for crowd control. Looks like it even knocks enemies down as well, so pretty cool there overall with those. They don't mention how we'll get those or craft those just yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up here, we have the new Memetic specialization gear, where they do mention in bold here that currently only bio-missiles and plasma rounds are effective against Manibus Silver Plague, essentially their shield, which is happening in the Prime War game mode. To add more strategic options, 3 new Memetic specializations have been added. They added the red plasma rockets and grenades. Those will shred through Silver Plague shields, dealing massive damage. And they also added one here, the red antiviral ammo, which is heavy damage to the original entity bosses, specifically designed for endgame fights. This should help with the nightmare difficulty. Next up here, we have some reworks to the pollution and contamination zones. So Stardust ore will now suppress contaminations and weaken deviants when placed. There's also going to be mining Stardust, which will increase with contamination levels temporarily, where they say strategic management of that is actually crucial. There's also going to be a sanity system change. So now base sanity is 1000, and that will drain dramatically based on contamination exposure. There's also going to be a new structure called Veil of Tranquility, and that will reduce the sanity drain and weakness deviance in its radius. There was a dev note here saying essentially that pollution zones were originally designed to provide players with an evolving survival experience. However, they recognize the current contamination sanity mechanics feel too static and predictable, diminishing the richness and depth of exploration. To fix this, they've overhauled these mechanics. It also looks like if you reach extremely low sanity, you'll be dragged down to the depths. They showcased here in this little video that might play onto some mechanics there. It's going to be a brand new event with this as well. Now, this one will actually tie into the new ammo type. So Rosetta convoy events will replace the Rosetta settlement events, where you steal a convoy crate and then you can get hunted by Rosetta elites across the map. These crates contain control units, essentially for crafting tactical gear and anti-type ammo, where the Rosetta elites become more aggressive based on the number of stolen crates. So the more that you do there, the more that you steal, the more likely you are going to encounter them. And it seems like they're even going to be at harder waves. We still have 2 more reworks here. These ones are actually to early, mid, and even late game. So first up, early and mid game buffs. There's going to be a 20% Stardust source drop rate increase, and a 20% energy link spawn rate. That should help a ton early game. It does get a little bit grindy. Happy they're adding that in. There's also some late game tweaks here, where to balance that out, you actually get a minus 10% Stardust source and energy link availability to balance progression. Eventually, you do become overloaded with energy links and Stardust source. You don't really even need to upgrade your gear at that point anymore, so I completely understand that. It's kind of just basically useless unless you're making it for ammo. And it should help in the beginning because you're getting an increase of 20%, while in the later half getting that decrease of 10%. We'll have to check out the numbers there, but does seem fairly close to what we're getting right now anyways. There's going to be new pollution zone rewards where they increase the item value, but with longer respawn times. So even though polluted zones seemingly become a little bit harder, there'll be some extra stuff to kind of balance that out there. There's also a key material adjustment here. So Stardust ore actually got a buff from 20 to 30 per node. Barreled fuel got a nerf here from 100 to 80. That's going to come much more valuable in these new scenarios. It's also having a platinum crystal, which got a nerf from 250 to 200 per drop. We do have that one last rework here, which is the mod conversion overhaul. They now mention there's going to be a higher chance of obtaining epic mods from conversions. And better quality mods will be granted when converting high level mods, while conversion rates improve to ensure more valuable upgrades. So now you should be able to focus target your upgrades a little bit easier and get those much needed mods. Mods affect your damage a lot more than you probably think, so I'm glad that they're letting us focus target them a little bit easier. That does cover for the March 27th update preview, but with that, we also got the mobile version teaser. Now, if you haven't seen already, the mobile release date has been announced. It's going to be dropping April 23rd. As I mentioned before, they have 30 million pre-registers. You can also check down the link if you want to down below, where you do get some bonus rewards with that. And there are a ton of bonuses, including from original launch. There's also some giveaways happening here, $50 Steam gift cards. There's some AirPods they're even giving out, and an iPhone 16. So you can register at the links down below. You can also enter these giveaways. There is one happening in China as well, and it does seem like they are giving out even more stuff there. Where it looks like here they're giving out an iPhone 16 Pro Max, even a MacBook Pro M4, and an Apple Watch SE. Not exactly sure if these are going to come to NA yet, as we have those other giveaways there. They also have a weird email sign-up system with this, so you probably more than likely don't have access to that. And more than likely, if you won out of the territory or out of the region, you probably wouldn't get any of these giveaways. I'll include a link to it down below. This was on the Chinese website. Again, hopefully it comes to NA, but yeah, that's there. With the mobile version, they actually also did drop a teaser trailer here. There's a ton of unique stuff in this trailer. It looks like they might even be teasing some different locations, some potential new ones as well, as they don't look very familiar, at least to me. Looks like there's also some weapon skin teasers within that, and they might have even buffed the size of the bus that walks around on the street. He looks absolutely massive in this trailer. So with the mobile release, there's been questions about certain things. They've actually made a note on a few things here. So on the channel website, they actually did talk about a no pay-to-win agreement. They say as we kick off the countdown, they have another announcement for all players. Once Human is committed to breaking the traditional pay-to-win model of survival mobile games. They will never sell stat boost. Today, our development team is making a bold pledge to all players with this and the no pay-to-win agreement, vowing to uphold a fair and balanced gaming experience, which I think is just awesome. They talked about this originally when the game first launched. I do recall some people being worried when it went to mobile release if they would ever add boosts. Looks like they're making their stance now, and they're not adding any of that. I'm super happy about that, glad they're not adding that, and it's only cosmetic. Overall though, it should about cover for today's video. If you like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces!